of patients suffering from Alzheimer's, a new drug could provide a breakthrough treatment. More than 5 million Americans have the disease. Now a biotech company from Massachusetts says early tests show its drug could reduce the presence of plaques in the brain believed to be responsible for the onset of Alzheimer's. Dr. Alexander von Tulleken is a senior fellow at Fordham University's Institute of International Humanitarian Affairs. Doctor, good to see you. The company, Biogen, is reporting the positive results so far. What's the drug? Has it been tested for safety and efficacy at this point? How significant are these initial findings?
Well, the drug's called aducanumab, and it's an antibody. So what they've done is they've looked at people who don't seem to get Alzheimer's, and they've said they may have an antibody to prevent this protein that builds up in the brain clogging up the neurons and stopping.
What's the name of that protein?
And so the protein's beta amyloid. And so you often hear people talking about beta amyloid plaques. There are other proteins that build up in the brain as well during amyloid. But if you imagine it's a little bit like heart disease, and the same way that cholesterol builds up in your arteries, these proteins build up in the brain. They seem to stop it functioning. And antibodies attack proteins. They're the same thing that fight disease in your body. Gotcha. And so if we could get an antibody that would target beta amyloid proteins in the brain and reduce the levels of it, the logic is maybe that would restore some brain function. And the early results from this drug seem to be good. And that's very important because every year we're spending close to $200 billion in America alone on treating people with Alzheimer's.
Okay, and the early results, is this based on animal tests? Is it based on human data? What's it based on?
So first of all, they've done animal safety profiles to make sure that it works.
Okay.
Animal models, which
and moved past that, okay.
Yeah, and now we do have a cohort of people that they followed over a period of, I think it's 2 years, where it seems to have slowed or improved cognitive decline.
Well, doctor, that's what I want to get to you with next. One of the big caveats I'm reading about this is that this was an early stage phase 1B study, and you'll need to explain that to me, with a relatively small number of patients. Yeah. So you'll need more patients and more time to get more results, right?
These studies are massively expensive. So when you're trialing a drug, what you want to do is make sure, first of all, that it's safe, and secondly, that it works.
Yes.
And so you start with small numbers of patients so that you're not exposing large numbers to risk, and so that you can do fairly cheaply prove that there is some likelihood that it's worth pursuing. The phase 3 trial will be a large number of people followed for a longer time. And this is the barrier to doing Alzheimer's research, is that a trial of a drug might cost $100 million. To get a drug that works, you're probably looking at spending $1 billion over a long period of time. Yeah.
So that's the other point, over a long period of time. We're a long way away from a drug, aren't we?
If you think about the amount of money we spend, I mean, so 5 million people in the US at the moment have Alzheimer's. We spend massive quantities of money on it, and we don't really have any drugs that work at all at the moment. We have drugs that slightly halt that improve the levels of a brain transmitter, which sort of slows it down a little bit, but basically nothing that improves prognosis for people.
But science is incremental, isn't it? It's the next set of results build upon the last, right?
I think we're in a very interesting era of drug research, where we're now looking at much more fundamental disease mechanisms. And so we may well find in the next few years that even if this is an antibody that targets a protein that's specific to this disease, we may find gene therapies that deal with things more widely, and we may also get better at preventing Alzheimer's.
Dr. Tulleken, great to see you. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.